What up? What's up, still in my film? Oh, how y'all doing? What's up, kid? Good fucking morning, goddammit. It's not even morning, it's the afternoon now, isn't it? Job too. Anything? Where my boys at? I'm so hungover. Okay, truck searched by your parents. Why? I think you're doing drugs? Are you doing drugs? I'm very liberal. To the question, conservative or liberal? Didn't find that even. How was my night out? It was good. I got pretty drunk, not too bad. Not as bad as I could have been. But at a karaoke bar at the end of the night, that was pretty fun. We got like a private room. I think I sang Country Roads Take Me Home like 3 times, which was pretty fun. But it was a good night. There's a lot of, in Wisconsin here, especially in Madison, people go really fucking nuts on St. Patty's Day. Like, we drink a lot normally. For many birds. Maybe. Yeah, people go really fucking ham bone. So most people started drinking like 7 or 8 in the morning yesterday. I didn't because I'm halfway intelligent, but I'm too old for that. But a lot of trashy people out. Tried to party, but all the parties sucked, so we zonked on edibles. There you go. Yeah, we drink well in Wisconsin, that's for sure. Well, I saw this morning, I mean, it's like 11 or something, but a lot of funny walks of shame going by my apartment. They do dig lifters. That was pretty funny though, see some walks of shame. I had some random, I was walking outside a little bit, this like car pulls up and this woman yells out like, hey, like a few times. So I turn around, like there's a glare in the windshield so I couldn't see who it was. So I got closer and she was like, remember me from last night? I was like, fuck, oh shit, no, I don't. Like, yeah, you came back to my place and you left in the morning. I was like, no, I slept in my bed. What's up, Ultra? And she's like, no, I know, you came back to my place, we had sex. And I was like, no, we did not. I have, not being mean, I didn't say it to her, but I have better standards. But that was weird as fuck. I don't know what the hell's wrong with people. Maybe I look like someone. That was weird though. That was a weird start to the day. Got me a little nervous. But maybe I'll put some of the Snapchats from last night in my video today. Deadlift specific programs. You can look up Cone Felipe. Meg Ort's a pretty popular one. No, her I definitely didn't give anything to, that's for sure. No, that was weird though. I don't know why people just yell shit at strangers. But, I don't know, she seemed kind of drunk still, so. What do you think about linear periodization with no exercise rotation in the main lifts? Depends where you're at really in your lifting career, what your goals are. I think exercise rotation is important personally. You don't need to do it super duper often, but I think it's important. Just like small changes can make a big difference. Like if you're benching, doing like board presses or like pause bench or something like that. Just like I would never, if you're training for something specific and you want like true carryover, don't go more than 2 degrees of separation away from the lift. So for example, you can go from bench to a pause, that's 1 degree. You do a pause and bands, that's 2. But you start adding other stuff, you're like pause, bands, close grip, then you've gone too far, and it's probably not going to have the carryover you want. So keep things under 2 degrees of separation, pretty much, in my opinion. Same thing like with a deadlift, you can do deadlift and bands, deadlifts, snatch, grip, and bands. But you start doing like, I don't even fucking know how you do the third one there, but something fucking, I don't know. You know what I mean? Try to keep these under 2 or less. 1 degree is probably that you're getting the most carryover. It's probably the way you get the less carryover you're gonna get. But any big lifting goal you think of going for soon? I don't know. I've been kind of like, my main lifts have kind of taken a backseat to this bodybuilding stuff. I've been doing the blood and guts stuff, so I haven't put as much thought into my main lifts as I normally do. And I think subconsciously, maybe consciously a little bit too, I've been doing lifts that are inherently limiting for me, like doing the snatches. I'm not particularly good at Olympic lifts. I've never really done them, so it was limiting in the fact that I just couldn't move a shit ton of weight with it. Still hard, but not for like strength reasons. And that's why yesterday and today I'm gonna do them again, like the towel grip deadlift, just because they're inherently limiting. So it gives me more energy to do the bodybuilding stuff, which is, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm enjoying the blood and guts stuff. I think it's fun. It's refreshing. I'm noticing changes in my body too, which is cool. I haven't like added mass in quite a while. I'm up to almost 240 pounds now, and I look leaner. I'm not actually, obviously. I have probably the exact same amount of body fat, but I put on some muscle. So that's pretty cool. It's just, I'm as vain as the next guy, so it's cool to see you look better. But I'm gonna continue the blood and guts stuff for the time being. I quite enjoy it. I've just done years and years of lifting heavy, and it's good to get a pump sometimes, honestly. And it's fun. It gives me an opportunity to try stuff I normally wouldn't have time for or wouldn't benefit me. Like maxing out a tricep push down would be dumb as fuck doing every day, but doing like one day just going ham bone on tricep push downs is pretty sweet. So pretty fun. I think in the long term too, it'll be good for me just putting some size on. Bigger muscles are stronger muscles. So but yeah, no big lifting goals really. Pros and cons of beltless versus belted training. I'd say just wear a belt all the time. I usually put it on when I get around like 80% of a max. So like I don't like doing warm-ups with one on, but there aren't really any like cons to wearing a belt, honestly. There have been studies showing you probably get more like quote unquote core activation, which would lead to more strength by wearing a belt. So if you're someone who thinks lifting beltless is really cool, you should probably lift beltless once in a while. But other than that, try doing 100 push-ups a day for gains. Only 100? It's fucking nothing. 10 an hour for 10 hours. Nothing. I want to see 1,000 push-ups in a day, just to see how long it took. Didn't take me very long. It took like an hour and a half or some shit. And I also did this is years ago, did 1,000 reps with bench with 135 pounds. That took about 4.5 hours. And I did 500 squats with 225 ones too. I don't remember how long that took though. That didn't take that long. How much did I drink last night? Too much, but not too much. Things with bodybuilding is that it's easy to get carried away and enjoy it, but then it's so easy to see your gains go to shit with the flu or something. It's very, very true. I've luckily been healthy. I've been purposely being a little better with my diet. Like I don't have a bad diet at all. I'm pretty decent about eating vegetables. I've purposely been upping my vegetable intake, making sure I'm always hydrated, because I don't want to get sick and just lose everything. Hollywood physique versus bear mode physique. Should I prefer and why? Hollywood, I guess. Bear mode. Try to do 100 reps with 225 on bench under an hour currently. Second time trying it. I just got 70. A lot of it too, like I think when you're doing like super high rep stuff like that, where you're like trying to like get a certain amount in a certain amount of time or something, it's just like getting good at pacing it. It's like if you're doing a 5K and the first time you try a 5K, you sprint balls out for the first kilometer, you're gonna have a pretty bad time overall, even though you started hot. So I think a lot of it's just like not overdoing it at the beginning. How do you train a teenager to get a 225 bench more often? I do a bunch of back work, a bunch of pulling. I do a shit ton of bent over rows and pull-ups and croc rows and stuff like that. Get a really, really strong back first, so you have something to push off of, and then train bench a lot. Work your triceps. If you rotate exercises, does it have to be something that particularly targets the weakness to see the benefits of exercise rotation, or is it enough to just make a small change? I'd say both. Like, a lot of people in the bench, they suck at benching because they have weak triceps, so doing a bench variation that's going to work your triceps a little harder maybe, and do, let's say, floor press or board press. So it's going to target weakness, and it's also going to be enough variations you don't accommodate it too easily. Opinions on gymnastic ring training. I think it's awesome. Go for it. Dips are fun. Pull-ups are good. Rows, inverted rows. If you're doing like actual gymnastics routines, that's something you probably need to start with when you're young, but pretty cool. Is it okay to replace bench press with weighted dips? Sure. Replace whatever you want with whatever you want. Our goal is to get really good weighted dips. One way to get good at that. A lot of it has to do with set and rest selection, talking about doing high rep stuff. But I like treating some weights as a sport sometimes, like get good at repping 225. Yeah, it's honestly not a bad idea. I'll have my clients sometimes, like a workout we'll go through every once in a while, just like you said, get good at a certain weight. We'll put, let's say, if they're deadlifting and they have a 315 deadlift or something, we'll put 225 on the bar and one at a time just do 30 to 50 reps. Just do one, rest 30 seconds to a minute, do one. Rest 30 seconds to a minute, do one. Because you just like you said, you get really good at handling that weight. So then, later on, it's not a big deal if you're doing like a high rep set or something, because you know exactly what it feels like. You just did 50 reps with it. So it's a good way to hammer in technique too, with like somewhat heavy weights. Nothing too complicated. You don't necessarily have to do sets and reps. How to turn to you or Bugenhagen second, realize my dream of doing Zercher deadlifts. Lift for about a decade, eat, get strong, then you can do Zerchers. Zercher deadlifts, that is. Oh, shoot. When you're at the gym, can you always tell if someone is a lifetime natural lifter and someone who isn't, or is it something that's difficult to tell? I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know a lot of non-natties. But a lot of people underestimate what's possible natty, I think. So they see like people who are kind of jacked and like, oh, that guy must be on something. That's the upper limit. It's probably not. So I don't know. If some dude looks like fucking Ronnie Coleman, that's one thing. Some guys just get kind of jacked. Like, they might just be working a lot harder than you. Speaking of Ronnie Coleman, I don't know if you guys follow him at all on Instagram or anything, but he was on I think he had 2 back surgeries in the last 4 weeks, and he's not doing so hot, it looks like. He was on, it's called like an anti-grav treadmill, so you can walk, but you don't have the full weight of your body, and for recovery purposes. I was just kind of thinking, like, it must be weird being one of the biggest, strongest people who's ever walked the earth, and suddenly being able to not walk under normal gravity. It's gotta mess with your psyche a little bit. And I always wonder if he goes back and forth with like regretting it or not. I know I'm sure if he was given the opportunity he'd do it again in a heartbeat, but there's gotta be like an inkling of maybe I shouldn't have. It's gotta be in the back of the head a little bit, you'd think. They're dumb. But Ronnie Coleman's one of my favorite lifters. Fucking awesome. Gave everything for his sport. So opinions on suicide grip for overhead press and for bench pressing. I do it. It's a little nicer on the shoulders because you're still slightly externally rotated when you use suicide grip. For overhead press, it's pretty damn safe. It is unlikely you're going to drop it. But with bench, it's going to get a little iffy. It's personal preference, really. There's plenty of strong ass benchers who use a normal grip, so I use suicide grip for both. Reverse grip overhead, I've done it a few times to mess around with. You need pretty good shoulder mobility, which I'm lucky to have. Not lucky to have, I've worked at it. Nothing to do with luck. It's a thing. I don't think it's generally all that useful. Hit your front delt's pretty hard, I guess, but so it's fucking normal grip press. Might get a little more upper chest move, like activation, maybe. Elbow pain during cleans, you're probably catching it in a bad position. Honestly, unless you're training for Olympic lifting, I think cleans and snatches too are super unnecessary. There are better ways to build, like work on being explosive and stuff. They're much safer, have a much lower learning curve. But why do I think starting strength is so terrible? I mean, man, I've talked about this 1,000 times. I don't really want to rehash it, but it's just the exact opposite of what beginners should be doing. I think it's funny. People who like defend starting strength are like, "Oh, it's so easy for beginners because it's not hard to figure out." Like, are you fucking dumb? Like, are all beginners like other IQs like 40 and they can't figure out what AMRAP means? Like, fucking, but they can figure out power clean, right? It's a terrible program. It doesn't build a base well at all. It's far too limiting. Last thing. Do them every day and it hurts. Don't do them every day then, probably. Have you always been seeing steady improvement or improve in steady fashion, or did you have time periods where you had no progress and then in a steady fashion? I think I'm in fashion. I was like, what the fuck? No, I've always had pretty good progress in everything because I train intelligently and I work hard. Usually when people go through like slumps, I think 90% of the time probably it's mental. How to not get noticed sneaking into women's locker room. Don't do that. What do you think about JM floor press? It seems really unnecessary because in a JM press, your elbows shouldn't be behind you anyway. So it'd be no different than one on the bench. Work ways to get explosive and not using cleans. So, box jumps. Not the safest thing necessarily, but jumping with a trap bar. Put some bumper plates on. If you're at a nice gym, you just jump up, let go at the top. So you can load it up decently. Super low learning curve. It's very similar to a normal jump, which is what you're trying to, build explosiveness in. Most likely is jumping and sprinting. Barbell hip thrusts can be really good if you're a sprinter. The way they work your glutes is similar to like sprinting, so really good for building sprinting speed. Doing paused squats, for example. Stuff like that. Knee jumps, tuck jumps. A lot of stuff you can do. They're much easier and get more out of, honestly. Just kidding. Jesus. I had a Bugenhagen. We used to train together. He used to live in Madison, does not anymore. He's in WWE, he's in Florida. But yeah, we started training together for a while until he moved. And it was awesome. I don't have any plans to make another video with him currently, though. I'd have to be in a room with him. What do I mean by a base? I have an entire video called "What Does It Mean to Have a Base" or something like that on my channel that you can check out. Would I train with Juji Mufu? Fuck yeah. Seems like a fun guy. Does the Viking press work more the upper chest or shoulders or both about equal? It depends how you're doing it, really. If you're kind of like pushing out here, it's gonna get more chest. If you're like pushing into it, you're gonna get more shoulders. Different ways to do it, really. How to get through an overhead press plateau. I'm a novice and my max strict from resting on the chest is 55 kilos or about 121 pounds. So I'm a really big fan of Z press. It really grinds in bracing properly. and proper bar path, because if you don't do either of those, like if you don't brace well for a Z press or your bar path is fucked up, it's not going to move. So I would honestly do a bunch of Z press for a while, see if that helps, or do it as an accessory also, either one. The thing is, the jam floor press base is the same as one on the bench. Yeah, if anything, like the weights might hit the floor, which probably wouldn't be what you want. Yeah, it should be much different though. Rack presses at chest better than pause bench for touch and go bench. I do pause bench instead. Rack presses out of the rack are iffy, just because getting the right positions like 90% of it. When it starts going heavy, and it's, I don't know, it's a little rough on the shoulders usually. Oops, shit. Nope, don't do that. Pretty on boring but big 531. It's fine. 531, in my opinion, should always be modified to the person, and there's plenty of articles on there about how to modify it properly for yourself. At what point is an intraset rest too long in your opinion? For example, 20 reps on a row and then set the bar down for X seconds before cranking another 15 reps. What point does that turn to 2 sets? I'd say anything longer than 30 seconds, maybe we'll say. What's my Z press max? I don't know. The most I've done, I never really press anymore. But when I used to press, I got it up to, I think 90 kilos. As long as I was living in Norway. It was 90 kilos. I don't know, 195, 205, something like that. Wherever that is in pounds. I think I'd probably be close to a couple plates now if I tried it. If I traded for a little bit. Best exercises for baseball pitchers: take some light weights, boom, bunch of external rotation shit. So all you're doing all day long is internally rotating. Don't bench. You can probably overhead press to make sure you have good shoulder health. Lots of upper back stuff. Work your shoulder blades a lot and the area around your thoracic spine. It's a pitcher, right? Yeah. It's a bunch of external rotation. Both sides, work both sides, but really, especially on your throwing arm. You need some, obviously, work your legs. I do a bunch of single leg movements, Bulgarian split squats, because a lot of pitching is coming out of your legs, a lot of speed. He's texting me. A lot of hip movement, some rotational exercises. Croc rows would be really good. Yeah. Yeah, that Z press I was talking about was not from pins. Like, I unracked it, set it, pressed. I think that's how you should do it. Z press off pins is, I'd say don't do it. At least starting out. I think floor presses are great. I just don't like pressing in general. It's boring for me. What sports have I played? A lot, pretty much all of them. Basketball, baseball, football, ran track, cross country, rowing. Quite competitive in that. Soccer when I was really young, I guess. So, all the usual ones. Favorite fictional literature? I'm a big F. Scott Fitzgerald fan. The Beautiful and Damned, I think my favorite book by him. So I'm gonna say that. How to avoid muscular imbalances as a pitcher? I find my throwing side much stronger due to consistently using one side more than the other. Yeah. Honestly, doing a lot of single arm stuff, like I was talking about the last guy, or maybe it was you again. Like croc rows, a bunch of one arm rows, one arm T-bar rows with the bar outside. That's another good one actually. I did it last week. On last Monday, check out the video. The T-bar row, one arm with the bar outside the body, not between your legs. And yeah, working each side separately. That's why I was saying single leg stuff too. Because your body will want to balance itself out eventually if you just work them separately. It's like, again, Bulgarian split squats, croc rows, lunges, do some one-arm dumbbell presses and stuff over your head. You shouldn't be doing any pressing in that direction though, just because you're getting so much internal rotation already. Work your mobility a shit ton. Do I eat raw eggs? No, because there is an enzyme in raw eggs that slightly inhibits the uptake of protein in your intestines. So you're getting less protein by eating them raw. If you cook them, that enzyme kind of goes away or whatever, and you get the full protein then, basically. What distance do you run and how fast can you run a mile? I never actually ran the mile. So cross country is a 5K, and then in track, I kind of went down as I got older. So I started with like the 2 mile, and then the next year I was doing 8s, and then the year after that I was doing 4s and 8s, and the year after that I was doing 2s and 4s. I was decent. I wasn't like an amazing track runner. I think my best 400 was like 52 point something. High 52s, like 52.8 or 9. It's been a while. It's a parsa. Ooh. Best 2K on the rower. I think it was 6:24. But I was always better. I mean, it's a decent time. It's not like fucking world class, but I was always better at sprints, like the anything between 100 and 500 meters on the erg. For the I think the 500, I was like a couple years ago. I was like, at least on the website, what was that? I think it was 14th in the world, 16th, is it around there? Pretty damn good at the sprints. What's my guilty pleasure movie? Anything by Mel Brooks. It's not a guilty pleasure though. Mel Brooks shit's hilarious and amazing. Landmine press carry over to overhead press or bench? Probably. Don't worry. I was talking about carryover earlier. Like, so now, like I said earlier, 2 degrees of separation. So now you're gonna get some because you're gonna get stronger, but you've got more than 2 degrees of separation. So now you've went from a overhead press to you're pushing in a different position. That's 1 degree of separation, and you're using a different apparatus, more or less. 2 degrees, and then you're using a different grip. There's 3 already, and there's the strength curve is different on there too. There's 4 degrees of separation. So you're gonna get some, but you're not gonna get a whole lot of carryover. But again, carryover is not the end all be all of things. Like getting some bigger, upper chest and front, some delts is good. Have you the boogs ever done conventional deadlifts on Wisconsin method? I haven't. I don't know if Eric has. It tends to be, you tend to stall pretty fast. It only works for a few days usually. What's the difference between Wisconsin and Bulgarian light? So Bulgarian light's just kind of a misnomer. Bulgarian light refers to like more traditional Bulgarian training. Wisconsin method is a better name. Since me and Eric are both from Wisconsin, it's inappropriate. Be on rack pull above the knee. If you're trying to grow your traps, it's fine. It's a good way to rack barbells. I've done them a few times and they're fun, but they don't really do anything other than maybe build your trap size. But, nothing wrong with lifting fun stuff. I do that shit just because it's fun. Lower back's my weak point. How do I strengthen my spinal erectors without deadlifting? Do a shit ton of back extensions. Shit ton. Every angle, 45, 90, whatever. Bunch of them. Bunch of back extensions. If you use a barbell to weight it, use a snatch grip. Yeah. So actually full range of motion. Don't do the fucking Rubish style because the range of motion is way too low. Do I drink a gallon of milk every day? No, I drink about a half gallon right now. I have drank a gallon before for quite a prolonged period of time. From Wisconsin, dude. Do I watch Nether's channel? No, because he's full of shit. There's aliens and Jedis and stuff, and no one should be listening to his advice. Best way to work your obliques. Honestly, those one-arm T-bar outside the leg channel lift. That killed my obliques. I was sore as fuck after those last week. My obliques. So I'm not saying those are the best, but they're pretty damn good. Do some suitcase deadlifts. Big heavy cheat rowing will help a lot with weighted pull-ups in the long term due to increased muscle mass in the back. Probably. Do I think Nether is natty? I don't give a shit if he's natty. I just think he's fucking nuts and no one should listen to him. That's what I think. You know, if you think stuff's fun and he's, you know, if it's working for him, good for him. But dude, the guy believes in fucking like aliens and shit. Why would you listen to that? I shouldn't say believes in aliens because maybe there is extraterrestrial life. He thinks they're like helping him lift. Aliens don't give a shit. If there are aliens, they're not giving a shit about his lifting. That's for sure. Yeah, he's lying about a lot of shit. He's a fucking nut. Look at his fucking channel name. What did I do for St. Patty's Day? I had some pizza, had some beers, and some more beer. Am I religiously Jewish? No, I'm not religious. I don't believe in shit. We die, we're gone. That's it. But I am culturally Jewish, I guess. You know, my mom's Jewish. What was I saying? The fuck was I talking about? Oh, different. Yeah, so I drank beer. Drank more beer, a couple gin and tonics, went to karaoke. That was pretty fun. We got a private room, me and my friends. Sang country roads, take me home a bunch of times. Almost heaven, West Virginia. Beer or wine? Beer, dude. I'm from Wisconsin. Jesus. What's the most you gain on an exercise, and what exercise in Wisconsin method before switching exercises? Behind the back deadlift went up 105 pounds in 5 days. Ox lift went up about 100 pounds, I think. The Bugenhagen squat, that went up I think from 295 up to 405. So that's probably the most, the Bugenhagen squat. Are cheat rows the key to my strength? I think they play a factor. The thing a lot of people don't get, like on my channel, it's just a training log, obviously, for the most part. And all I ever put on there is the top sets. When you're seeing me doing cheating rows, like not all of my sets working up to that word cheat. Like 95% of them were very strict. If I'm doing like a Yates row up to fucking 600 something pounds, up till probably 405 or more, they were strict. So I'm getting the benefits of both. Don't just like warm up doing cheat rows and shit. So I'm getting more strict volume than most people are doing, and then I'm doing cheat after that. So people don't seem to get that. Like, oh, you gotta do everything strict. Like, yeah, for the most part, you should. Most of your sets probably should be strict until you get to a certain weight, and then start cheating then. But if you just started lifting, don't do cheat reps. So that's the first thing. Like, learn to do them strict and actually contract the proper muscles first. If you just start lifting, the first thing you start doing cheat reps, you're not going to develop much of a back out of it. I've done programs like Mad Cow 5, Texas Method, etc. If so, did you switch to bulk gain style because of slow progress? No, I wouldn't do those programs because they're not very good. I'm Mad Cows, it's whatever. Texas Method is bullshit, in my opinion. No, I didn't train like that ever. She's from Texas. Funny, in Norwegian, the word Texas is slang for crazy, which is kind of funny. Will you focus on overhead press later? Probably not. Pressing in general bores me. How strict should pen lays be? If you want to call him a pen lay, relatively strict. When will I train on Tam? Never. But Ensons. His 531 program is pretty good. A lot of people have success with that, and there's a whole subreddit for it, so it's useful. He's live. Good to see you're alive too, Michael. Kind of surprised. Me and Mike, we text, and he was a little drunk last night, weren't you, Mike? Depends on Alpha Destiny. I have an interview on his channel. Finally finished my homework staple night. Damn, dude. Why is Z press without pins better than out of pins? I mean, are you overhead pressing out of pins? No. So, again, degrees of separation. It's a rough one. It sounded like a rough one, dude. Will you get a slingshot since it's off patent and only $14 now? It's only $14. Maybe. Thoughts on Dr. Deadlift? He has a big old deadlift. That's my thoughts on him. Oh shit! Bumping this fucking thing. Maybe. I never pressed. I don't know if a slingshot would do much for me. I actually woke up and I guess I pressed in the bodybuilding stuff, but not like actually. Woke up 6 a.m. feeling great today. I'm honestly amazed. Damn, dude. Amazon Braceco, $14 slingshot. It's weird. A lot of people, I don't know, this might be just random, or there might be just correlation or causation. I'm not sure which one it is, but I see a lot of people using slingshots and then they like fuck their pec up somehow. Not like while they're using it, but after they've used it for a significant amount of time and they go back to normal benching and injure their pec. I've seen that a lot. And it's like pretty strong dudes. It's not just like 14-year-olds. So it might just be random. Might not actually be any, might not be at fault for it, but it's kind of weird. I don't know. Has drinking often affected your strength levels? Probably. Fuck knows. It's not good for you. Did I go to college? Yes. Q deadlift. I'm working on it. Do the whole alphabet. How to get stronger as a 16-year-old. Build a good base. I have a whole video on building a base. Don't just worry. Like, your numbers going up is important, but don't just focus on like, oh no, my deadlift isn't going up like 10 pounds a week. Don't worry about that so much. If you want to lift for the long term, which is what your goal should be, you gotta build a base. Let's see. Circus press good for overhead pressing strength. I mean, sure, it helps, but again, you're getting degrees of separation. So you're still pressing overhead, so that's the same. But now you're using one arm, it's 1 degree. You're using a different implement, that's 2 degrees. So there's 2 degrees separation there. If you're using your legs, that's the third. And so you're getting less and less the farther away you go from the main lift you're trying to focus on. I should make a video of that. Degrees of separation. How about that base? Of course. A program to recommend for a novice. Some 531 variation. There's a whole website, Jim Wendler's website, devoted towards it. I'd probably have a decent amount of volume for a novice too. I never bench, only do overhead presses and occasionally incline bench. Will this give problematic muscle imbalances? I haven't benched in 3.5 years. My chest is pretty damn robust. Look at these things. Boom, boom, boom. So, no. What do you mean by good base? Size. I do not mean size. Again, there's a video on my channel about what it means to have a good base. I think it's called What It Means to Have a Good Base. You should search it so you can see my thoughts. It's not just about being strong. Everyone's like, oh, I have a 405 deadlift. Does that mean I have a base? I don't know. Maybe. Should drinking coffee make you stop growing? Probably not. Maybe for like 8 years old. But bench is a tricep exercise. It is partially. It's a multi-joint exercise. Your chest is certainly being used benching, as are your delts to an extent. I have an unevenness when performing out press. What would you do about fixing it? Again, probably Z press. I'd probably do some one-arm rowing and probably some one-arm pressing too. So find out why that's happening. Do you watch Dragon Ball Super? I've never watched any Dragon Ball stuff. I remember when I was a kid, it'd be on and be like, we're gonna fight. Yeah, we're gonna fight. And be like, next week. And then the next week would come, like, yeah, I can't wait to fight. It's gonna be the best fight ever. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. And then next week. And then finally they'd fight and it'd be over in like 2 seconds. And then, because they go super, what the fuck, Saiyan or whatever the fuck it's called. To like level 8 this time. That it didn't really entice me. Got like big forearms, work your forearms a bunch. Tips for wing scapula, band pull aparts, bunch of back work, working on your posture. Don't sit like I'm sitting right now. Focus on it a lot. Use Z press to fix my marriage, so should help your overhead press. Good. Dude, Stein, come on. I should probably respond to this girl's text. Hold on, guys. I got a date late tonight. Alright. When talking about specificity of training, what percentage of the gains achieved are due to doing the exercise one is trying to improve, and what percentage is due to the supplementary exercises? That's hard to say, really. I don't think there's a specific percent. It's like, I don't know, if your body's a puzzle, it's just like, if you're not doing one or the other, you're missing a piece, and you need to put that piece in. Which I guess technically would be a percentage, but supplementary stuff's often overlooked. People focus way too much on the main movement. See it all the time. A lot of times, I talked about this in a video I put out, like about doing accessories, like someone who doesn't suck, I think it's called. But there's so many people they'll be benching and be like, hey, your bench sucks because your triceps are weak. So I'll be like, do a shit ton of tricep work, and they start doing a shit ton of tricep work, and they notice that temporarily the bench diminishes a little bit, but it's just because they're fatigued. And once they like start going back to more like normal training, what they're used to, their bench start flying up guaranteed. But they never get to that point because they work their triceps hard for a week, and they're like, oh, my bench is it went down a little bit. I lost like 10%, and they stop training their triceps and they stay weak forever. Accessory stuff's important. Like, find your weaknesses, fix them. It's not that hard. There's a million articles out there. Maybe it's your abs, maybe it's your lower back, maybe it's your upper back, maybe it's your fucking hamstrings. So, find a problem, find a weakness, fix the fuck out of it as fast as you can. I talked about sports earlier. What sports I played: basketball, baseball, football, track, cross country, rowing. What are kettlebells useful for? A bunch of stuff. Swings, snatches, cleans, presses. Go on Strong First website. Good. Whenever I arch my back, I get pain in lower left back. I think it's a disc problem, but was wondering if there are any exercises I could help. I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor. I'm assuming you arch your back for bench. I get it looked at. If it only hurts during that, it might just be a muscular problem, though. What would you say is the best leg exercise, without including barbell squats? Bulgarian split squats, hands down. Have you used reverse bands on rack pulls? No, that's fucking dumb. People need to cut out the fucking rack stuff. For like, oh my god, like, so many people like comment on how I train, how like Eric trains, that we're trying to hide our strength, and we're not, because we do a shit ton of full range of motion stuff. If all you do is rack pulls, like, then you're definitely hiding your strength. You gotta do some full range of motion shit. I don't give a fuck what it is. If it's a bicep curl, if it's a fucking bent over row, do something full range of motion. Your muscles aren't made to just work in 2 inches of motion. Work them in every angle you can. Rack pulls are great and they're very useful, but fucking stop it. Like, that should not be the shortened range of motion should not be the bulk of your training. That should be a small percentage of it. So, opinion on foam rolling: it's fine as long as you don't do it too much. Most people roll their IT band way too much. Trying to improve your bench. Would you do the same bench every workout? What do you mean the same bench? What's up, Andrew Carey? The same type of like bench style. Do I love my job? Yes. A lot of people like who train people, they burn out of it real fast because they think that active training people will be inherently exciting. Watching someone squat is not exciting in the least bit. If I was training myself, I wouldn't be excited watching myself squat. Um, it's not inherently exciting, but seeing progress is what's exciting. And if you look at it that way, you can, do it long term and enjoy it. If you don't look at it that way, then you're never going to be good. Do I train my neck? No. Does being strong on weights mean you were strong on fighting? Fuck no. Full ROM should be the minority of your training. No, full ROM should be the majority of your training. Shortened ROM should be the minority. Full ROM is super important. Look at almost every exercise I do is very high range of motion. I've purposely extended the range of motion for like deadlifts and stuff. Work your muscles at every angle. Why the fuck would I train next? I don't get the point of that. Anonymous, you comment on my channel all the fucking time. You say some dumb shit, dude. I'm sorry. Like, whenever people post stuff, they always like. I'm glad you follow me. I really am, but like, don't just say stupid shit, man. How often you're stuck in your head or you're free most of the time? I don't know what that means. Do you high pulse the nipple or lower higher? I try to get all the way to my chin. Why is full ROM so important if it's the overload and stretching the muscle that counts? That's not really what counts. Like, we'll take your bicep for example. If all you ever do is curls to here, there's this whole portion you're missing. Like, that's great. You can put a shit ton of weight on there and you're probably getting a stretch, but you're not going to go very far with that. Your body's not made to really work like that. You need to do both. If I had to choose between doing full range of motion exercises only or shortened range, I would hands down, no question asked, do full range of motion stuff. You'll be far healthier for one thing. You'll be more athletic. You'll be probably more muscular. So stretch is important. Again, pieces of the puzzle, guys. But it's not just the stretch and the overload, because you can overload a full range of motion stuff. Just add weight to it. Get stronger at it. Do cleans actually make you more explosive, or just getting better at clean? Probably just getting better at cleans. Talked about it earlier. Core squats are bad for the knees, aren't power shrugs and really heavy weight bad for the knees as well? No, because in a squat, like most people quarter squat to the point where their joints at 90 degrees, which is where your joints at its weakest, and that's where they're like rebounding off of. So, find pause squats much more consistent and easier to perform technique wise. Less doing them instead of regular squats. I think you're probably honestly better doing nothing but pause squats. If you're not competing, you want like just overall strength, probably better. Do you think Bruce Lee's lats were genetic or training? I don't know, he's like really skinny, he's just super lean. He also hurt himself doing a good morning with like 40 pounds, so I think Bruce Lee's awesome, but he's not someone you should look to for training advice. When I start lifting weights, high school. Mark Ripito says that you can't become more explosive through training. Is he right or wrong? He's wrong as fuck about pretty much everything. There's Westside Barbell had a podcast and they're talking about their football player, and without running once in I think it was 6 weeks they trained him. They just did like strength exercises. His 40 time before the combine went from like 5'8" to it was like 5'1". So saying you can't train explosiveness in the gym is bullshit. Fuck Mark Ripito. Fuck starting strength. He's a fucking idiot. He's dumb. Barely has any grasp in the English language even. What are your thoughts on strength elitist mentality? Some people call it 250 bench super weak, and it seems like a lifter is never good enough. Never-ending number chasing game. I mean, 250 bench is pretty weak, but that's the thing. Like, I think standards are super low, so people who are strong, they're I don't know if they're misunderstood necessarily, but Um, I don't know. In a way, it's good because it pushes certain people to work harder. Like you say, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and they keep pushing. But a lot of like just like randos who come in the gym, that's really off-putting. We're like, yeah, I did a 315 bench, and then someone, myself included, is like, hey, you fucking suck, actually. And for some people, depending on your personality, they'll just wreck it for you, and you probably never want to lift again. So depends on the person a little bit. I think elitism is very good in some extents, but I guess that can be bad also. I don't know. Deska, philosopher more, I think. Yeah, we can overload your traps so much more in a rack pull than a shrug. That's more gains. Yeah, but overload's not the only thing that leads to gains. That's not the only thing that matters. Like, there, there. Look at like any famous bodybuilder ever, and I can guarantee they got traps that way. Yes, they're on steroids, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But they're not doing super heavy rack pulls. So, I'm not saying they don't work, but if that was the best exercise for building traps, wouldn't you think bodybuilders would be like, eating that shit up? Right? Posterior chain training is better than cleans for speed and explosiveness? Probably. Trap bar jumps I talked about earlier. Really good. Good lifting reads. I don't know. I read a bunch of random shit. Most of my stuff's from websites. But I like Stronger by Science. They have interesting stuff. I think science and lifting, I think they're important to know, but there's a lot of problems with lifting science, training science. But it's interesting to read. You might learn something. I just really like old school strongman books too. Is there a point where increased strength won't be able to translate to explosive strength, a vertical jump? For sure, definitely. There's a point where you get diminishing returns, but advice for people with narrow shoulders: get bigger shoulders. I don't know, overpress a bunch. Difference in Norwegian and American gym culture or how people behave. People are a lot tougher in Norway than the U.S. I gotta say, the average American's a giant fucking, I don't want to say pussy, wimp. Should use pussy derogatory. Big wimp. Especially dudes here. American women are pretty tough usually, but the dudes here just, we're all fucking wimpy, man. Everyone like pretends they're hardcore, but we're not. Pretty wimpy. More people are generally more active there, so they come in better shape, which is nice. They like, women there aren't worried about like getting buff. That's not really like a pop. I mean, it is a little bit, but like the first time I ever walked in the gym there, I was like so surprised to see so many women like in the squat rack, overhead pressing and squatting and stuff, and it was awesome. So. Yeah, I'd say Norwegian lifters are stronger in general, the average population for sure. Because we're all fat and lazy as fuck in the US. What are thoughts on NSUN's 531? It's fine. There's a whole red subreddit devoted towards it, so you can ask a bunch of questions there. People actually ran it. Hate doing pen lays, but people say they're great for explosive back strength. I'm super tall, so it's tough. Do I have to? You don't have to do anything. Being tall is not a very good excuse though, but pen lays are honestly great. Seal rows are good for building some, if you want to work in explosive back strength. Seal rows are good if you're able to. But what's better for rear delts, volume or intensity? Yes, both are important. Because American men listen to Ripito. It's true. I think in the U.S. part of it, like people never learned to. A lot of people just never learned to work hard in the gym, especially if you never played a sport. There's like this, I don't know. There's an idea of what training hard is, and then there's what actually training hard is that a lot of people have here. I don't know. Have you ever been to Canada? Yes, I was in Toronto 2 years ago now. We loved it. Toronto's great. Would I ever consider training or competing in some strength sport? If I had to do one, I'd probably do strongman. That's the only one that's exciting to me. Like powerlifting just is boring as fuck. You for the most part, you know the outcome before you even like go there. Everyone picks their own numbers and stuff, so there's no like heart factor. You know what I mean? Like powerlifting's fine if you enjoy it. Go all the power to you. But I just think it's boring. Olympic weightlifting is a little more exciting, but I think strongman. If I had to choose one, I'd do strongman. I can't seem to improve my bench no matter how much I eat. Doing it 3 times a week. Do you have any advice for me? Pause bench. Train your back more. Do I know Jordan Peterson? Who the fuck's Jordan Peterson? I don't know. Maybe. Is that like a famous person? Or is that some dude who lives in Madison? Lobsters? What? Alt-right? No, I don't know. Fucking alt-right dudes. Fuck, I know an alt-right dude. Some red pill bullshit. I'm competing powerlifting April 22nd. Had some tweak in my L2, L3. My lower back that stayed there for 3 days so far. I feel like just ignoring and carrying on peaking. Again, I'm not a doctor and I don't want to be liable for giving advice. See if it's actually your SI joint. There's some SI joint self-adjustment stuff on YouTube. That's a lot of the problem. I'm assuming you tweaked doing deadlifts. See if that helps. If it's actually your L2, L3, then I wouldn't carry on probably. I get checked out for sure by a professional. Do you think that a person with a stronger lower body with everything else being equal will run faster for long distances because each stride will be more submaximal? Everything else being equal, like same weight and everything, probably. Like if you clone the best marathon runner in the world and magically granted one of them 5% stronger legs without any mass gain, then probably. Doing this exercise, I'm not gonna look that up. It's probably porn, dude. One arm longer than the other keeps messing up my bar. Should I Smith machine to keep bar path straight? No, you should not Smith machine. Why is your one arm actually longer, or do you have shoulder issues? I don't think it's my SI joint. Fuck. I don't know. I'd get checked by a professional. I wouldn't just keep on trucking through it because I wouldn't like severely hurt yourself. Best way to increase conventional deadlift, just doing it every other day. Fix your weaknesses. What's the exercise then? Just tell me the exercise. I can't like go to it right now. Live streaming. Forearm roller. Okay. Go for it. Best way to increase conventional deadlift. Get a stronger upper back. Get better, more active hamstrings, and stronger abs. And then train conventional deadlift too. If someone had a trash bench but got their road to an elite strength, would their bench go up? Probably. I never bench or press, and I press pretty well, so. How much does arm replacement cost? That's a good question. How about if I throw on a powerlifting belt, I don't use one, but can start? I mean, it's not gonna protect your back. It's not like to brace harder, which will, in a way, protect your back. It's not a bad idea at all. I think everyone should lift the belt once you can deadlift probably like 315ish. You should probably can start wearing a belt. Just squatting like 225 on. Person I get better deadlifts, I rotate what type I do every 3 weeks. Yeah. Oh, so you're talking like the roller type thing? Yeah, that's fine. Trapper front squats, back extensions. Yeah, trapper bar can be really useful. Build strength off the floor if you're using the little handles. Yeah, back extensions. I have all my clients do a shit ton of back extensions. I'm doing pretty fucking heavy. Like I have like grandmas doing back extensions with like 155. I have 45 degrees. So people, that's another exercise people are big pussies. I should say pussy. I guess I'm saying wimps with, and they're like, oh, I have like a 10-pound weight here in my chest. Oh, it's so hard. Like, no, put like 100 pounds on. That's my front squats will build your deadlift because get better at bracing, stronger upper back. Boom. Yeah, back extension, barbell and neck, it's great too. Snatch grip, get full range of motion, use tiny plates, use 10-pound plates. You have in your back, you can hold exert your style, or I usually have my clients do like snatch grip, because then you can still do full range of motion. And then it also keeps your upper back tight, which is good. A lot of people start getting lazy with that. What time is it? I gotta actually work out, dudes. Dude, anonymous. Oh god. You're a terrible troll, man. You commented like one of my things like, you know, all this back exercises aren't having carryover. How would a bigger, stronger back not have carryover? Dude. Thoughts on exertion front raises or regular front and side raises for increasing bench. Front and side raises are gonna do a lot more than exertion front raise. Favorite food? Oof. I'd say overall hamburger, but the one thing like I can never get enough of is mac and cheese. There's like Velveeta. Oh, so good. That's what I miss most when I lived in Norway, was Velveeta. So good. Yeah, I check out a lot of Chinese weightlifters pretty often. What exercise would you not recommend with someone with flat feet? Nothing. You're fine. Flat feet's not really a problem generally. How often can you croc row in a week? I've croc rowed every single day before with like 300 plus pounds. As much as you want. Toronto greater than Wisconsin, don't lie. Fuck no. Canada's amazing, but it's like off-brand Wisconsin. How to croc row 30-pound dumbbells? That's not nearly heavy enough, man. Gotta get up there. Alright, like 5 more minutes, dudes, and I gotta work out. I got shit to do today. Oh, these arm gains. Oh my god. Oh. I am not gonna Google muscular Judaism. What the fuck that's gonna come up with. I've noticed the biggest difference. Ash's bodybuilding stuff's my chest. Triceps by the next thing. It's bad lighting here, Jesus. Would I rather be with a 7 who's good in bed or a 10 who just lays there? 7 who's good in bed for sure. I think high pull without snatch is great. I don't think anything's great. Just exercises. It's fine probably. Yeah. Thoughts on extremely high sets, like doing as many bench press repetitions with just the barbell as possible? I mean, it's a thing. I've done like 100 rep sets before. Yeah, go check out my boy Michael Scullin's Q&A, live Q&A at 10 p.m. tonight. Everyone. Thank you, Dirt Kid. What about weight training 2 times while having sports practices too low frequency? Probably, if you're training that low frequency, you're probably going ham bone and you're going to be super sore. So, do I get stretch marks on my biceps from weighted chins? No. Norwegian American waffles, is there even a difference? I don't know about waffles really, but pancakes, I like Norwegian style pancakes way better. Fatter equals better bench, maybe. Plenty of lean guys with big benches. Do I go to a chiropractor every month? I've been to a chiropractor once in my life when I was in high school, and they're, especially in the US, they're all full of shit. for the most part. Do something with Nether. I don't like Nether. He's fucking crazy. He has nothing to teach anyone. Get out of here, not strong enough. Motherfucker. Foolproof strategy for cutting. Eat less. Lift heavy. There is no foolproof strategy really, but stay hydrated. How to be a non-needy person. Find things that you enjoy doing by yourself, I guess. Try to be happy with how you are and enjoy your own company, I guess. Go to the fucking movies by yourself. Do shit by yourself. Force yourself. I don't know. A lot bigger in person. That's what everyone says. Michael. Hey Zach, I know you're in here. What are some easy to ingest foods that need to eat 5,000 calories a day? You probably don't need 5,000 calories. I need 5,000 calories. If you're smaller than me, you probably don't need 5,000 calories. I'm 6'2", like almost 240 pounds right now. But maybe you are. Milk, peanut butter, MCT oil, olive oil. Do you ever get a haircut? I got a haircut yesterday. Oh. A little mess right now. Why do you think that pause deadlifts aren't any good? I don't think they're not necessarily any good. I think most people aren't weak in that position when you come up, and I don't know. I guess you could maybe hone in some like being tight in that position, but what would also hone in technique being tight in that position is just focusing on it. You know, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but using sub-maximal weights, you're probably straining your lower back than you need to be. Yeah. What do I think of Kyriakos Grizzly? I think he's living it. That's what I think. Come on, Master. What's my tempo squat max? More than Alan Thrall. I started doing BJJ practice 6 times a week. Now I'm confused at how to program my strength work. I mean, that's a lot of practice. I'd try to do it separately for sure. I try to get in there probably 3 times a week at least. Keep the volume pretty minimal, just hitting heavy compounds for the most part because you're getting tons of accessory work from the actual BJJ practice. But do things that are very specific that will help. Don't just randomly do like bench press. That's probably not going to help you at all. Do a bunch of single leg stuff, hip stuff. Yeah, so with that, upper back stuff for sure. What would you do if you accidentally banged Alan Thrall's girl and he caught you? Does he have a girlfriend? I can't see him being very dateable with his neck beard. Longest pause I've ever done in a pause squat. I've done like a 20-second pause front squat a long time ago just for the hell of it. I don't remember. I think I had like 315 or something only. It wasn't like crazy heavy. If it's a total workload that counts, why not just train non-stop throughout the day, one day, rest the next, and do it again? It's not just a total workload that counts. So, there goes that. Do you like the barbell medicine guys? Are they too thrall? I've never watched them. I don't know. Stuck in an elevator with thrall for 5 hours or Nether? Probably thrall, because I feel like Nether would like be on bath salts and try to eat my face or something. At least thrall I could like have a conversation with probably. Who was the best fitness supervisor? Alan Thrall. Do a powerlifting meet or it don't matter, yeah, right? Feigenbaum is a shill for starting strength as well, and he's probably worse than Thrall actually. Doesn't Thrall realize he's objectively weak? I don't know. I think he's just faking it until he makes it. That's his strategy. Have you ever been near broke? Yup. Superness. God damn it. Get out of here, Zach. Do you think Nether is strong? It doesn't seem like it. Every time I see him do like anything with full range of motion, looks awful. He's like squatting with like the barbell and collapsing. So, no. Which is again why you shouldn't just do fucking partials. I do more snatches today. No, I'm done with those. I just wanted to hit what Alan Thrall did in the competition. I would do some more towel grip deadlift. I was hungover as fuck. That's what I did yesterday too. I was hungover as fuck. Yeah. Goes rich. Sometimes. Thoughts on Brian Alstra. I think he's awesome. Seems like a stand-up dude. Sad that he's having some medical troubles. Is Nether on roids? Who gives a shit? Quit watching his stuff. That's what I think. Yeah, I like Brian Alstra. Strong guy. Rotate what? Alstra is a front squat monster. How old was I when I started drinking? I didn't drink until I went to college, so 18. They had really strict policies in my high school for people in sports. They like basically kick you off at anything. So none of my friends drank in high school, so I didn't drink until I got to college. Which is pretty unusual in Wisconsin, but yeah, I think you did hit like 600 front squats. It's nuts. They had a thread about me on 4chan? Seriously? No way. I do not believe that. If they did, you should find that and link that to me in like a comment on one of my videos, please. That'd be funny to read. What do you consider a decent rowing strength, assuming strict form for objective measure? You should be able to strict row at least whatever you can bench, I'd say. So you should be able, we'll say you should be able to like bent over row whatever you can bench. Not pendling necessarily, but bent over row, strict whatever you can bench. And then A, it means you have a strong back. B, probably means you have healthy shoulders. So. I find it really hard not to let her rip when I'm pushing really hard during a bench set. I don't know what let her rip means. Just dropping on your chest. What would you recommend, exercise would you recommend for me to prehab my back, lower back from future tweaks? Single leg stuff on my Patreon. There are videos for lower back exercises exclusively for my Patreon subscribers. But yeah, a bunch of back extensions, hamstring work, single leg work. My favorite YouTube fitness channel? I don't know. I don't really have one. The Boogs, I guess. Do I do GPP? No, not currently. When I came up with a great fitness YouTuber, oh god. Oh, you find it hard not to pass gas. Whatever. Fiber diet, maybe. They mainly talked about how strong you are compared to your physique or some shit. It was a pretty silly thread as far as I remember. Huh. Well, I'll take that. Better to be stronger than you look than weaker than you look, I guess. Is peaking actually improvement or just fatigue dissipating and fitness level staying the same? Yeah, the latter basically. Should you lose gains after 22? No. Okay, when I was 18, I was 140 pounds in the same height. So, there you go. You usually get stronger until in your late 30s if you train smart. Some people later even. Natural. Hopefully. Why is the aesthetics movement faggy? I don't think it is. If that's your goal, whatever. If you just want to look good and that's your idea of looking good, then go for it. I don't know. God, talk way too long on this. I need to fucking work out. I got a lady to see later, dudes. Pin Jason Blaha, I think, is the greatest troll of all time. I don't know. Do weights matter for strength? What? Does weight matter for strength? Like how heavy you are? I mean, generally a heavier person is a stronger person, but not always. It's not another, seriously. Do I believe in Odin? No. Anyone Thrall's best? I think in competition he benched like 325. He squatted like low to mid fives, deadlifted mid fives. So pretty bad, especially when you're like 200. Was he like 250 pounds? Probably walking around normally 260. Trains for a living. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Alan Thrall's more Viking. I think Alan Thrall is like a caricature of what like suburban upper middle class conservative moms imagine people who are into metal look like. You know? Like it's not what people who are actually metal look like at all. That's how they imagine it, and that's how he imagines it because he's not metal, but wants to be real bad. So he has like, oh, I need to look like a Viking kind of, but he just has like a shitty neck beard instead. I don't know. Whereas like those sunglasses that like 6-year-olds wear, like the shitty like round, you know, like, you know what I'm talking about. I like your opinions. Thank you, man. Think about Clarence Kenny, I think he's strong as fuck. Would you erase Thrall's list with your philosophy, or is it too late? Yeah, of course. I'd have him work a bunch of probably like bodybuilding shit, honestly, and build him a base. Do a shit ton of single leg stuff and a bunch of back stuff because his upper back's weak as fuck, obviously. Do I like black metal? Some of it. Shit. Yeah, his bench is dog shit, which is why he suddenly started like competing in an organization that doesn't have bench in it, of course. His beard look halfway decent. Yeah, it'd be okay, but it's still like he doesn't have any facial hair like up here. Like your facial hair should go beyond like your jawline. And it's so wispy. I don't know. Ever been to California? Yeah, my brother lived in Los Angeles for a while, and I have some relatives out there I visit from time to time. I'm going there in September actually for a wedding. Thrall and Nether should have a kid that they merge DNA with to create the ultimate creature. I know how thick that neck beard would be. Favorite song Happy Up? I don't really have one. Depends on my mood. Man, how long does it take you to teach yourself Olympic lifts if you want to? Honestly, you shouldn't. You're gonna get not much out of it because the weights you're gonna be able to handle with shitty technique are so low. You're not actually challenging your body at all. You're just challenging your coordination more than anything. If that's really a goal of yours, get someone to coach you. You really need a coach for those. Yeah, let's try to find a good one. Don't just go to a random CrossFit gym. Oh god, Perry-X, gross. Couldn't even overhead press. Yeah, I don't think he could. I think he got like 220 or something, 225. I'm a very interested person. Thank you. My question is your opinion on kettlebell training with man weight, of course. I think it can be very useful, but it shouldn't be the only thing you do, probably. Swings are great. Cleans, snatches are great. One-arm stuff can be very useful with kettlebells. Two-arm stuff. A lot of stuff you can do with kettlebells, but you should incorporate other stuff, too. Not strong. Oh, man. Is a Zercher partial off pins in a 5-second hold of 6 plates like 585 pounds strong? I don't know, dude. Zercher partials are kind of, yeah. Any kind of partial isn't really super good judge of strength necessarily. Thoughts on Stan Efferding and his vertical diet stuff? I don't know what that is. I know full body wasn't effective for me. I know this is general, but I don't want to know why. Probably not getting enough volume. And like, it's not volume's not the only thing with driving progress, but it's also frequency is pretty important. If you're doing twice a week, you're not getting much frequency. Don't use gay derogatory in a derogatory word, but Smith machine hip thrusts are fine. How often do you travel outside Norway? Usually once or twice a year. I'm not a huge vacation taker. It messes up my lifting, so. Damn. Alright guys, for real, like 5 more minutes now is going way too long. Am I Mr. Anderson for the Matrix? Is that why you can break all these PRs? True, that's why. I see the Matrix, which helps. Thoughts on taking a lighter, moderate week in your training if you've been smashing your goals and don't want to overreach? I'm not a big believer in deloads. I think they can be certainly useful and aren't a bad thing. So definitely deloading your main lifts can be useful, but then you should maybe go a little harder on your accessories. Do I have a girlfriend? Not a girlfriend per se, no. I don't live in Norway anymore though. I think he meant when I lived there. Whereas here, in the U.S., yes, I was born in the U.S. We never first born thrall? No. But, yeah, Thrall, I don't know, like, I'm sure Alan Thrall is a fine person, maybe. No, I shouldn't say that either, because he's, like, willingly taking part in the fucking smear campaign. I don't know. I was gonna say something. Would I go to Jujimufu's? For sure. How are you going to train when you get a kid? The same? Scale of 0 to 10, how fat do you like your girls? I like them a little thick. No, that's a little... Not a boyfriend, no, I'm straight. I knew that pretty young, watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Melissa Joan Hart. Boom, rock hard. Like 5 years old or something. God damn it. What sort of program style of training would you recommend after installing linear periodizations? I don't know. Find some kind of program that addresses your weaknesses. That's the best I can say. Pretty much rip it hits. Yep. He does deserve the criticism. I'm gonna see you start a home gym. Bring back Eric's Dungeon. Dude, I would love to. If I ever get a house. Okay, Apollo, I have testosterone up the wazoo. Went to puberty early. I got this beard. I like shaved for the first time like 5th grade. I love a home gym though. What lift should you do today? Just kind of row. I don't think I've seen you do a row in a while, man. So exercise selection overkill at times. I mean, grips out of my realm of knowledge really, but yeah, you can definitely have too high of exercise selection for sure. Tennis elbow killing me. What's the fix? Bicep curls. Especially kind of limp. I call them limp wrists. So, God damn it. Stand up. The barbell on your fingertips. Limp wrist. You come up like this. Turns off your forearm. Stomach curls like that. Just really focus on your bicep, and I'll probably fix it. Do those every day. With a pretty low weight for like sets of 30. Boom. Vocal pole lift. Yeah, that shit was rough. Oh my god. You're probably better at it than me, Strong. I don't film the rows. I don't know. Maybe some behind the neck presses. That would kind of cool. Chinese arches, what do you think the benefits of them are? I know the benefits are better hamstring strength, glute strength, lower back strength. So. Yeah. There's another natural who gives a shit. Quit watching his channel. He's fucking crazy. Have you ever tracked your calories and macros? Yeah. I pretty much eat the same thing every single day, so I know what I'm eating. Makes it easy. I was just like think of it as putting gas in the car. Zach. You should do a snatch grip max. Hit 600. Like a G. How much could you shrug before you start cheating? I don't know. I can shrug 405 pretty easily, strict. So probably around there. I think it's fun, which I need to fucking do and stop talking to you fuckers. Another skits like Thrall skits. Then I'd have to like watch his channel and to get material, and I don't want to. With Thrall, it's easy because you know exactly what he's saying every time. Bullshit. That's what he's saying. Yeah. I don't know. Quit watching Nether's channel. Like he's good for memes, and that's about it. All right. Last good question. Why the hate for Thrall? I don't hate him. He's just everything about him is awful. It's just funny. I don't know. It's I don't give a shit. I don't really give him attention, honestly. Reach a certain level of strength before using straps, or just throw them on when your grip starts failing. I'd say yeah, maybe. Like you should be able to deadlift like 405 without straps before you start like needing to use straps and stuff. Definitely put them on for rows and stuff though. Thanks, Priviturd. Yeah, honestly, yeah, most people bring them through all the time, which is why I, in turn, country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, country roads take me home. And on that note, I am out, dudes. See ya.